You are not poor because of bad luck. You are poor because of invisible habits destroying your money every single day without you even realizing it. Every time you say you will start tomorrow, you are choosing comfort today instead of building the future you actually want for yourself. The truth is simple but painful. Most people stay broke because they repeat the same financial mistakes daily without ever questioning their actions. You don't need motivation anymore. You need to eliminate the habits that are silently draining your money and keeping you stuck in one place. Rich people are not smarter than you. They just avoid the mistakes you are making every single day without even noticing them. If nothing changes today, you will wake up next year in the exact same situation wondering why your life never improved. Nobody tells you this because it sounds harsh, but these mistakes are exactly what is holding you back right now. If you actually want to escape this cycle, you need to pay attention because this moment can completely shift your mindset. These are the exact reasons you are still broke, and once you see them, you will never be able to ignore them again. Let's start with the first mistake that almost everyone makes, and it quietly destroys their financial future over time. You spend money to feel better instead of building systems that actually improve your life and create long-term financial stability. You chase instant pleasure instead of long-term growth, repeating the same decisions that keep you stuck in a cycle of temporary satisfaction. You think small expenses don't matter, but those small daily costs add up and slowly destroy your ability to build real wealth. You avoid learning about money because it feels boring, and that ignorance silently costs you thousands over time. You rely on one income source, which is the fastest way to stay financially unstable and dependent on things you can't control. You scroll more than you create, and that habit is stealing your time, energy, and potential opportunities every single day. You wait for the perfect moment, but that moment never comes and never will if you keep delaying action. You fear losing money more than wasting time, and that mindset is what keeps you stuck for years. You compare yourself to others instead of focusing on your own progress, which destroys your confidence and consistency. You never track your money, so you have no idea where it goes or how to fix your situation. You ignore opportunities because they feel uncomfortable, but growth always requires stepping into uncertainty and taking calculated risks. You believe rich people are lucky, but in reality, they just follow systems and habits consistently over time. You avoid discomfort, but discomfort is exactly where progress and growth actually begin. You think investing requires a lot of money, which stops you from starting and building momentum early. You waste hours daily on things that don't move your life forward at all. You don't build skills that increase your income potential over time. You give up too early before results have time to show. You follow trends instead of building long-term strategies. You spend before you save instead of saving before spending. You ignore long-term thinking completely. You believe effort alone is enough without building systems that multiply your results over time. You avoid responsibility and blame external factors for your situation. You don't set clear financial goals. You lack consistency in your actions. You don't invest in yourself. You ignore compound growth and underestimate its long-term impact completely. You chase fast money instead of sustainable income. You follow advice without understanding it. You avoid taking action after learning something new. You overthink instead of executing. You believe working harder will fix everything, but without direction and systems, your effort just keeps you busy instead of actually making you wealthier over time. You don't track your progress, so you never see what works and what doesn't, which keeps you repeating the same ineffective actions again and again. You spend more time planning than actually doing, and that delay slowly kills your momentum before you ever get real results. You avoid learning high-income skills. even though they are the fastest way to increase your earning potential and break out of your current situation. You focus on saving small amounts, but ignore growing your income, which is the real lever that changes your financial life completely. You rely on motivation instead of discipline, and motivation always disappears when things get difficult or uncomfortable. You don't build multiple income streams, leaving yourself vulnerable to any small disruption in your current source of money. You let fear of failure stop you from even starting, which guarantees that nothing will ever change in your life. You don't surround yourself with people who think bigger, so your mindset stays limited by your current environment. You avoid responsibility for your results, blaming circumstances instead of fixing what you can actually control right now. You underestimate how powerful consistency is, even though small actions repeated daily can completely transform your financial future over time. You chase quick wins instead of building long-term systems that continue working even when you stop actively thinking about them. You don't analyze your spending habits, so you keep leaking money without ever noticing where it actually goes. You ignore investing because it feels complicated, even though starting simple is better than not starting at all. You waste energy on things that don't bring value instead of focusing on actions that directly increase your income or skills. You don't set deadlines, so your goals remain ideas instead of becoming real actions that move your life forward. You let comfort control your decisions even when you know those choices are not helping your future. You don't measure your results, so you never know if you are improving or just staying in the same place. You avoid difficult tasks, even though they are usually the ones that create the biggest opportunities. You consume content all day but never apply anything, which creates the illusion of progress without real change. You don't take calculated risks, which keeps you safe but also keeps you stuck exactly where you are. You let past failures define you instead of using them as lessons to improve your future decisions. You ignore long-term thinking, focusing only on today without considering how your actions affect your future. You don't invest in knowledge, even though it has the highest return compared to anything else you can spend money on. You avoid accountability, so nobody pushes you to stay consistent or improve your habits over time. You let distractions control your day, which destroys your focus and reduces your ability to actually produce results. You don't build routines, even though routines remove decision fatigue and make success easier to maintain. You rely on luck instead of strategy, which makes your progress random instead of predictable and controlled. You don't review your mistakes, so you keep making the same errors without improving your approach. You avoid feedback, even though feedback is one of the fastest ways to grow and improve your results. You think you have time, but time is the one resource you can never get back once it's gone. You don't prioritize important tasks, so you stay busy without actually moving closer to your goals. You ignore your environment, even though it heavily influences your behavior and decisions every single day. You stay in your comfort zone too long, which slowly kills your potential without you even noticing it. You don't build momentum, so every time you start again, it feels harder than before. You don't focus on high-value tasks, wasting time on things that don't increase your income or skills. You avoid change, even when your current situation clearly isn't working anymore. You don't think strategically, reacting instead of planning your moves ahead of time. You ignore the power of habits, even though they shape your entire life over time. You don't commit fully, staying half in and half out, which guarantees average results at best. You waste your peak energy on useless activities instead of using it for meaningful work. You don't build discipline, relying on feelings instead of doing what needs to be done. You avoid responsibility for your future, expecting things to change without changing yourself. You don't learn from your past decisions, which keeps you trapped in the same cycle. You stay passive instead of taking control, and that is exactly why nothing changes in your life. You've just seen the real reasons holding you back, and now you can't pretend you don't know what needs to change in your daily habits anymore. The difference between staying broke and building wealth comes down to the small decisions you repeat every single day without thinking about them. If you keep doing the same things, nothing will change. But if you fix even a few of these habits, your life can shift faster than you expect. You don't need a perfect plan to start. You just need to stop the behaviors that are clearly holding you back right now. Every successful person you see once stood exactly where you are now, but they decided to act instead of waiting for the perfect moment. Your future is not decided by luck. It is created by the actions you choose to take immediately after finishing this video. You can ignore this and stay exactly where you are, or you can take control and start building a different life step by step. The truth is simple. Nothing changes until you change, and no one is coming to fix your situation for you. So if you are serious about changing your life, start today. Start small, but most importantly, start consistently without stopping. In 1 year, you will either thank yourself for starting today or regret that you stayed the same. Tell me honestly in the comments, which one of these habits is holding you back right now, and what are you going to change first?